Ever wondered what analog horror is? It's a question that's been cropping up more frequently as this intriguing genre gains popularity. Analog horror, in its essence, is a genre that utilizes old-school analog-style footage to craft an atmosphere that is chillingly eerie and unsettling. Imagine stumbling upon an old VHS tape, dusting it off and pressing play, only to be met with unsettling images and sounds that send chills down your spine. This is the sensation that analog horror aims to replicate. The genre often employs found footage, old broadcasts and archival materials, imbuing the narrative with a sense of realism that amplifies the horror. Every frame, every flicker of static, every distorted sound, all are meticulously crafted to create a deeply immersive experience that leaves you questioning the line between reality and fiction. Analog horror, with its distinctive characteristics, is not just another trend. It is creating a new wave in the horror genre. What makes analog horror different from other horror genres? Let's dive into the unique characteristics of this intriguing genre. At the heart of analog horror is its distinctive aesthetic. This genre borrows heavily from the visual style of old-school analog media. Think of the grainy, distorted images of VHS tapes or the eerie, otherworldly fuzz of old television broadcasts. It's a style that taps into a sense of nostalgia, while also creating an atmosphere of unease. It's the uncanny feeling of the familiar, yet not quite right. This is not a horror that jumps out at you, it's a horror that creeps up on you, slowly building a sense of dread with its unsettling visuals. Another compelling aspect of analog horror is its narrative style. Unlike traditional horror, which often provides clear-cut answers and resolutions, analog horror tends to be more ambiguous. It leaves a lot to the viewer's imagination, encouraging them to fill in the blanks. This narrative ambiguity can be disorienting, adding to the overall sense of unease. It's like trying to piece together a puzzle with missing pieces, and the picture you're left with is often more disturbing than any explicit horror could be. In addition to this, analog horror frequently incorporates surreal or supernatural elements. These elements are woven seamlessly into the narrative, further blurring the lines between reality and fantasy. It's not uncommon to encounter strange, inexplicable phenomena in the world of analog horror. These moments of surreal horror serve to unsettle the viewer, making them question the nature of reality itself. And therein lies the unique charm of analog horror. It's a genre that doesn't rely on explicit gore or jump scares to frighten its audience. Instead, it uses the familiar and nostalgic to create an atmosphere of dread. It's a genre that's as much about what you don't see as what you do see. It's a genre that invites you to question, to wonder, and to fear. So the unique charm of analog horror lies in its ability to blur the lines between reality and fantasy, using the familiar and nostalgic to create an atmosphere of dread. Why is analog horror gaining popularity, you might wonder? The answer lies in its unique blend of nostalgia, realism, and ambiguity. It's like stepping into a time machine and being transported back to an era where technology was less polished, less predictable, and somehow more real. This sense of authenticity resonates with audiences, sparking a feeling of unease that's hard to shake off. Analog horror also provides a refreshing alternative to the more formulaic mainstream horror. Instead of relying on jump scares or graphic violence, it uses subtlety and suspense to create an atmosphere of dread. It's the kind of horror that gets under your skin and stays there, making you question what's real and what's not. Moreover, the genre's ambiguity encourages active engagement from viewers. The narrative isn't spoon-fed to the audience. Instead, viewers are left to decipher the eerie transmissions and cryptic messages on their own. Analog horror, with its unique approach, is carving out its own niche in the horror genre, offering viewers a captivating and unsettling viewing experience. To sum it up, what is analog horror all about? Well, analog horror is a unique genre that takes us back to a time before digital took over, a time when the lines between reality and fiction were blurred by grainy footage and static-filled audio. It's a potent blend of nostalgia and fear, a cocktail that leaves you on edge, constantly questioning what is real and what is not. The main characteristics of analog horror include its distinct visual and audio style, heavily inspired by older media formats. It often presents itself through found footage, faux documentary style, and a chilling narrative that keeps you guessing. The popularity of analog horror is on the rise, and it's not surprising. With its unique blend of suspense, dread, and mystery, it offers a refreshing change from traditional horror. It's immersive, it's unsettling, and it's captivating in a way that only something unfamiliar and unknown can be. So next time you're in the mood for a chilling, immersive horror experience, why not give analog horror a try?